In this video, I'm going to share how to design a brand awareness campaign so that you can go from best kept secret to making sales, even if you currently only have a tiny audience. My name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I am so geeked that you're here. Hello. Let's do this thing. Make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to share my personal #1 brand awareness strategy that has been working for me for years. Not only has it resulted in general awareness and people knowing who I am, knowing that I exist, but it's also generated over 100,000 emails over the last couple of years, and more importantly, over $100,000 in sales in the last 12 months. More on that in a moment. Let's talk about the basics first. What does it mean to create brand awareness? Why would we even create a campaign around that goal? When you come right down to it, people can't buy from you if they don't know that you exist. So the purpose of increasing brand awareness in the general marketplace for your brand is to eventually create more sales. But we need to get the attention of a new audience first. And for me, as a small business owner who relies on actual return on investment, not just general feel good, I hope people remember my name or what my logo looks like, coming back to that definition is really useful for me. Getting the attention of a new audience so then I can warm them up and eventually ask them for the sale. If we're thinking about the way that this works, it's often been said that it takes 6 touch points, 7 touch points, 9 touch points for somebody to actually remember a brand. And this is still true to some extent, but in my experience as an entrepreneur, it's been shifting. So the reason why we have that old model is because we used to rely on traditional media. And if you were advertising on the TV or on radio, you did in fact need many different impressions before somebody could recall hearing your ad, because it's such a passive experience to be, driving in the car or waiting for your next episode of Alone to come back on and you have to sit through that commercial. Like, we don't really want to hear the commercial. So that's more of the old way of thinking to me. The new way of thinking is, what can we do to catch the attention of a new audience and get them to take some small action immediately? Sounds magical, right? And it kind of is. Let's discuss how we can do this. This is a bit of an interesting shift in perspective, even for me as a brand strategist, because what's important is the attention piece when we are just trying to get in front of a new audience and trying to get them to take action. So instead of thinking like a brand, it's actually the one place in our business where we need to think more like a direct response marketer, meaning we'll have an opportunity to indoctrinate, to teach people about our brand as we build a relationship with them. But this first step is really just about getting their attention and getting them to take that one small action so that we can build a relationship and build the brand with them later. Because as a small business, we are not Nike. We are not Budweiser. We're not going to spend millions of dollars on a big game ad with this loosey-goosey intent of building awareness. We need to tie our efforts back to the bottom line, perhaps even sooner than somebody with a really big business and a really big budget. Let's get into the actual nitty-gritty. So brand awareness campaign equals audience plus a sexy offer. First, we need to find a new audience. There is so many ways to do this. You just need to pick the playground that you want to play in. Let me give you some ideas. You could choose one of the platforms to run ads on. For example, you could run Facebook ads, which is also connected to Instagram because they're all owned by Big Daddy Meta, right? So we can run ads to Facebook and Instagram. There's also ads that you can run on TikTok, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Google/YouTube. All of these different places kind of have different rules for optimization and for getting the most out of your ads. So you just want to focus your attention and your budget on one, make sure that you're mastering it and getting the results that you want before perhaps adding another. If you don't have a budget for ads and you have more patience, then a technique that works really well is to tap into what I call OPA, other people's audiences. This is my newfangled way of looking at PR, because it's not often that we're going after the Forbes or Entrepreneur magazines, especially when we're new. We're actually building relationships with our peers or people that are just slightly above us and being interviewed on podcasts or collaborating on a single Instagram carousel or showing up in somebody's Facebook group or providing guest content for their mastermind or their course. If we're a product-based business, maybe we're partnering with other product-based businesses that have a complementary and similar product. So these are peer relationships where we're tapping into some organization or brand or person who already has an audience. So we're tapping into their audience so that we can get access and exposure to people who don't know who we are yet. You could also ask your current network or your past clients or anybody that does already know you for referrals in some way. So maybe they can share your social media platform with their friends. Maybe you're doing some giveaway to incentivize that. Maybe you can just literally ask for sales referrals. I'm looking for this type of person to do this type of service. Do you know anybody that can you send them to me, kind of thing. Again, this is kind of similar. It echoes, it rhymes with the OPA. You're getting access to a different set of people through people that you already know or through people you have access to. And then finally, you can also optimize your social media content for virality. My dear friend, Katia Varbanova, is the master of this. She is the absolute queen of viral marketing and is an excellent resource if you want to learn more about this. But essentially, there are certain types of content that are more likely to be shared. It's a little bit different for different platforms that you're on, but you need to essentially build that skill if that is going to be your primary focus, because you can create content for days or years, but it's not always going to get shared. We need to tap into specific psychological responses to get things shared and to get access to a broader audience than the one that is just following us. So these are all places where we can find new audiences. And then the second half of the equation is the sexy offer. It's really interesting. Even if you're running Facebook ads, there's this campaign type. It's called brand awareness. And you would think that that would be the one that we want, right? You would think that if our goal is to create brand awareness as a small business, that we would choose a brand awareness campaign. However, I've tested this because I was talking to a lovely account advisor from Meta themselves, and she was looking at my ads. She's like, you know what, I don't think that this is how you should do this. I think you should set up brand awareness campaigns and run those. So I did. I dedicated, I think it was like $2,000 over a period of time, ran those ads. It was just a black hole to put my budget down, to be honest. I did not see any measurable lift in any number that I am tracking. I didn't get more email leads. I didn't get more sales. I wasn't magically attracting $1 million corporations or anything like that. So I don't actually recommend the brand awareness campaign if you're running ads. Remember our initial equation: new audience, sexy offer. So make a sexy offer. What can you give to people, either in terms of free content, free resource like a PDF or a mini course? This is the route that I take. I'll tell you about that in a second. Or maybe you even have just like a very small impulse purchase type of product, or even a free sample that you can get people to try out your brand. So we want to give them an offer they cannot refuse, something that is so valuable and amazing that of course they would give us their email address, or of course they would visit this page. Of course they would buy this $17 thing, so that we can just get some new people into our world. Purists out there might take offense to this and say, Kaye, this isn't brand awareness. You're doing lead generation. And as a small business owner, I'm going to say, yes, I am. And I'm also, at the same time as I'm generating leads, I'm making more people aware of my brand. And that's the goal, right? So my personal number one strategy for this, my sexy offer that I put in front of new audiences who have no idea who I am, whether that's when I'm being interviewed on a podcast or if it's when I'm running Facebook ads. I've been running Facebook and Instagram ads for years, and this continues to work and to convert at very, very low costs, is my brand quiz. You may have heard of it. I have a brand personality quiz that's been taken over 200,000 times at the time of this recording, and it's free, but I ask for people's email address at the end. And that's how I build brand awareness for my brand. It is so powerful, and it creates results. It's not just this black hole that I'm sending, thousands of dollars to Zuck to do whatever he does. So I'm encouraging you to shift your thinking around brand awareness. Pair it with some way that somebody can try out your brand, whether that's a very low cost product, a free sample, free content, or free resource. And then make sure you're getting that in front of new audiences, that you're not just promoting that to your existing audience. When we want to raise awareness, we need to access those new audiences. So pick a playground, figure out where you're going to put that sexy offer in front of brand new people so they can try out your brand, and then you have the opportunity to grow your relationship with those new humans. The way that I grow my relationship with the new humans is through email. I have a series of emails that are automated to go out as soon as somebody gets done taking my quiz, that gives them more free value, tells them some of my brand story, and then eventually asks them to make a purchase, to buy one of my archetype courses, to shortcut their learning and to deep dive into their archetype. Other peers of mine who aren't big in the email marketing, which I think is a mistake because the list, all of the money is on the list. It's cliche because it's true. But other people I know will invite people into a Facebook group and nurture them there. Other people just invite people to follow them on, say, YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're showing up regularly, and nurture and build a relationship there. Or you can do some layered approach. But the main thing when you want to raise brand awareness is to get in front of new people and make sure that you're doing that consistently so that you're continually growing your audience over time. And the way that we measure this brand awareness isn't with some crazy like Nielsen intent or like brand lift measures. We are not Nike. We are not Harley Davidson or Adobe or any of these big companies that can afford to spend a lot and not know that their money is coming back to them. Of course, they do great. They're incredibly profitable, but we just can't match their budget. So the way that I measure my brand awareness is through my different audiences. Is my email list growing? Are more people following me on my different social media platforms? That is the way that I can measure that more and more people are getting to know my brand. More and more people are being introduced, and even better, like I said, they're taking that first small action to stick around, to stay in my orbit, to consume more of my content, which is amazing. I hope you enjoyed this practical look at how to set up a brand awareness campaign for your business. I hope that you don't judge me too harshly for departing from the textbook definition of brand awareness. After a decade in entrepreneurship, I can see what's actually working for small businesses like mine. I hope it's helpful for you as well. Let me know in the comments below, which of the new audience playgrounds are you going to play in and learn about? Is it ads? Is it OPA, that newfangled PR? Is it asking for referrals? Or is it focusing on social media virality? No wrong answers. They all work. You just have to decide which one you're gonna focus on, and to give people a sexy offer to stick around and to follow you for more. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and stick around because I have a ton of new brand videos coming for you. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you want to learn how to set up a quiz yourself and you want to use that as your brand awareness mechanism that invites people into your world, I have an entire course about how to do that. Step one, you can watch the List Full of Leads masterclass. So sign up. I'm gonna take you behind the scenes of how my quiz works. And then if you want the how-to, I have a course called Convert with a Quiz that shows you my entire funnel, the exact ads, the exact ad graphic templates, the way that I have the targeting all set up to raise my personal brand awareness. So if you want all of that, check out Convert with a Quiz, and I share all of my secrets in there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for being here. Keep doing what you're doing. This entrepreneurship thing isn't always easy. Sometimes it feels like we're yelling into a void, asking people to notice us. And when you implement this brand awareness campaign, you'll be pleasantly surprised that more and more people will notice you and will know exactly who you are. More of the right people will be excited to work with you. So keep at it, keep being amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.